Today, I'd like to give you an overview of the Google Apps version of a website that could replace our current Higher Logic website. So we have our Lrig branding. We have 8 different chapter tabs, making it easy. We have a home tab, which refers to the Lrig Global, and another 5 tabs here, which are just easy ways to get at sections of the Lrig Global material. One is the About tab. One is instructions on how to join. One is a LinkedIn discussion tab, which takes you out to the LinkedIn discussion group. It opens up a new window, shows you where to join, makes the statement here that we're not abandoning our discussions, but we're consolidating them into the LinkedIn group rather than having them split between our website and the LinkedIn discussion. A single events tab where all events from all groups, information for vendors, all hyperlinks to web pages on our site and external web pages are all located. Presentations for presentations that presented at meetings, documents, things that come up on LinkedIn can be saved here as a very useful reference location. And speaking of that, the search this site box up here will do a full text search of all the documents list all the documents of most types listed on the website that are saved here. It's a very useful way to find information. So the home tab has information about events, and this is dynamic content that comes from the events tab. It shows the date sorted by date, the different chapters, and an event link which goes to a location on our website where information was posted about that particular event. And so that's where the details would be. The location is shown, and there's a free registration link here that would basically be if a person wants to go, they don't have to go look for where the link is. They just click the link. If they want more details, they can click this, and that would always be the most up to date single location where most up to date information for attendees would be located. Down here, you can see more information by clicking either of these, gets you to the same place as the event tab. We have our Lrig Global announcements listed here, pointing out to users that the chapter announcements, they should see the individual chapter sites. And these go by announcements. So the most recent one is up front. The older ones are down below. And these, you click on this and you'll get to a full web page where the announcement is present. On this size, we have a little tutorial here how to benefit the most from Lrig membership. You could see it as a tutorial on how to use the website. You could see it as a tour of the website. And we'll go through this. And actually, this is the only non-dynamic content on the home page. And I would suggest that you go through and click on those links and see how the site works. Here's our recent presentation information. And these are automatically summarized here from the presentation tab, which you can get to by clicking here or by clicking up here. And we have a nice presentation down here via Andy had for the Texas group. And you click through these slides, you can play the whole slideshow, you can go full screen here and see that. So let me start with this tutorial here and say become a Lrig member. It's free and no passwords are required. So to become a member, you click on this link, you enter an email address, you pick a local chapter affiliation. You could say no chapter close to me or pick one that is close to you. So this way we know where some groups may want to set up if there are a number of people who are without a chapter who's close to serve them, they could pick that option. Enter your name, your last name, company, zip code. If you're international, we ask you to enter 54321. This is a required field, so you need to put some 5-digit number in there. We automatically opt you in to receiving event announcements from the chapters. Um, you have the choice to pick other options here. If you don't want to get all of those announcements, you can click whichever chapters you would also like to do. So if you are only interested in the Bay Area and San Diego, that's fine. If you're interested in the Northeast, you may want those guys. You can pick what sections you're interested in doing. We have a way for vendors to get advance notice of exhibitor opportunities. potentially for sponsorship opportunities from the chapters that they're interested in. So by clicking this, then we can send advance notices out to vendors, so they know what date, they know where we're thinking about having it. And there's opportunities for uh, people to indicate their interest in participating more actively in the chapters. If people don't fill in the information after they're in the place for a few events, we can send an email out to them and ask them to update their information in their membership profile. And maybe after being in an event, the first time somebody registers, they may want to have the minimal amount of information. I think you've seen this before, and that's where we can get our membership from a common membership to a single MailChimp account, which would go out and service the whole group. We would participate in discussions on LinkedIn. Um, there's over 9,000 members, and they just click the link to go there. They can see the events tab for more details. They can learn about Lrig, so that goes to our about page. They can link to vendor information. They can show that all vendor information is on the event page and learn where all the links are that they need to find any information on our site or an external site. So one location. Again, you can go through and click on these links in this version of time. I'm going to skip that. They can see all the global announcements, which we have here on a separate page, where they can subscribe to an RSS feed for them. They can also visit our chapters page, which shows not only the chapters here, but the European ones, and they can search presentations. So this shows a brief overview of our home page. Now, as far as the chapters, I want to show you the Philly chapter site. And this is set up the way I'd recommend setting up our chapters. I set up each of the other individual chapters different ways so you could see different ways of doing it in part, and part of it was modeled after the way the Higher Logic site was set up. But I like this sort of layout in large part. I start out with Lrig Philly chapter homepage. Let us know how we can serve you. We are looking forward to hearing from you, and email address up in front so that people can contact us. And then a little bit the human side, what our mission is, and the people, so they can make contact with us. A section for posting Philly events. I have this limited to 2 events, sort of the idea of our most recent event and our past event, and then they can see all the past events that are there. We only need to update events in one location. It's here forever. The thing just keeps getting pushed down to the bottom, and it won't show up on the front page anymore, but it will show up and always be available for past events. The same thing's true for exhibitor information. We have the exhibitor information here. And so vendor information for Philly chapter events. So we have a way to reach out to the vendors. We've got one page, and this I limit to one pretty much for our current event, but they can view and see more and see the information for past events, and we can take the past information and update it for current situations for new venues and that kind of situation. We have here links to files for the Philly chapter. Here's a link to our mission statement. This is fully searchable as far as the words that go in here. Here's an example of a program announcement. This is actually New England's program announcement, but I just put it in here to show that we can put information that's only relevant to, say, the Philly chapter here, rather than in the presentation section. But things that are global of interest should go in the presentation tab and not in the local sections. Here shows some Philly announcements. So these are announcements that I would imagine that I would view as emailing out to people with MailChimp. These are ones I posted on our discussion group, and here's a call for speakers. You can look through this. This is call for topics. This was a call for how can we serve you. And if I click on this, it will come to where the full link is there. You can see that there was even an attachment here. The mission statement was given in the first email or that went out to members here. So I go back, I'm back on the home page. And so that's pretty much the content of what I suggest for the home page. There's a few more things I have down here. One is content. This here is a table of contents that's dynamically created by the system, and it's doing an outline of our web pages. You can change this by when you format things as headings. And I view this as being useful if we're going to put the old style Lrig website for events where we have all the speaker information. We've got section with speaker bios, we've got abstracts, we've got information where we have the vendors and little blurbs on each of the vendors and why you should come and see that vendor and what their latest and greatest is, and a section on the food. And so this would auto generate at the top, and it makes it easy to navigate that massive section and of information that can all be put into one web page. Um, in there. So it's just a widget that's easy to put into the thing. It does it automatically. Another widget down here does an outline of the website. And this starts here with the Philly web page and shows all the pages underneath. And so here's the About Philly chapter. Here's the Philly chapter history page, the announcements. And now these are put into chronological order and how they were added. Whenever you make an announcement, it automatically puts the announcement underneath where this is the title of the announcement. Whenever you have an event, it automatically puts the event underneath with this, so you don't have to worry about where you're going to put your web page. When you make announcements, you have full capabilities of layouts that you want for web pages to be put on there. Or these are where the files and links go for affiliate chapters, and then this is the vendor event information. So a nice little layout. It's useful at this point for you to see how the structure of the thing works. If the thing gets filled up with a lot more information, this could be limited in terms of how much information it shows, but it's useful I mean, I find it useful, but it's not essential to be on that page. So this is the Philly homepage, and I recommend that we set the others up like this. So now there is other information that we can go through and see how do we manage this. Now, one advantage of this website is that you can go in and you can we can modify our own content, and we're not dependent on hiring an external webmaster who has single rights access to the site in order to put in static content that needs to be there. Uh, but it's also easy for someone to navigate. So as far as going in and put global announcements in here, I now am on a situation where I'm logged in, and I'm logged in to somebody who only has rights to Philly and to global. So it'd be exactly the way that you have rights to it. To sign in, you go to the bottom of the web page. This is one that's not logged in. Let me go here first and go to the bottom of the web page, and you see where it says sign in. So you click sign in there, and then you're golden, and you can go in and sign into the site. Now I'm back to the one where I'm signed in, and I have rights, and you see this thing says new post. And so if I wanted to make a post, I just click this button, and I can go in and make a global announcements post. And this is where people can subscribe to RSS feeds. It's shown there for them. If I go to the chapters page, I have in here where the announcements are for the chapter. So if you wanted to make a Philly chapter announcement, you click this button and it takes you to the page where you would make a new post. If you wanted to make a chapter event for Philly, you click this one and it goes where you can make a post for the chapter events. People can subscribe to those so they don't need to get emails. They can just read it in their favorite news reader. Vendor information, if you want to know where to do that, you click that and you go to where you need to post that. And for files, it's listed here too. So this information are given hyperlinks on here. There's actually another thing called here Lrig Global Admin website updates, and this shows you how to sign in. It shows you the structure of the web pages. It shows a lot of details that you really don't need to know about, but it's got details on there that could make it useful for someone using it. So that's all you see when you've got access. You'll have those abilities. Oh, with the presentation tab, you'll have the ability to add a link, add from Google Drive, move it around. You can create folders so that we can organize things in folders better. But again, the search will find things in full text mode, and you can subscribe to changes to anything when things are added to this page, a variety of things like that. So again, membership done by a single link that's on our website goes to a database fully integrated in with our email MailChimp account. Eventbrite using for announcements that can vendors will pay for, can pay at it. People can go in and do this. Uh, Filling out an announcement on the Eventbrite page can be sucked into MailChimp and be used and be distributed via MailChimp to all the interested members. Now, so, so let me see here. Did I show, let me show you this. Uh, if I take the web page and if I go here and make it smaller and change the size, you'll see how this page dynamically readjusts itself. In fact, you can go in and look at this on a mobile device, and this will automatically adjust itself to a mobile device. That's something that Google does in these things, and I turned that on for the site. Now, if you look at the Lrig chapter 1 for the Bay Area, this is a fixed page, and as you change your resolution of your screen, you don't really see any change at all on it. So if you look at this on a mobile device, it's going to be the same size as you see here. And if you have a big screen monitor like this is 1080p, you're going to see a lot of open space on your thing. Um, However, with the other one, it will adjust to the different sizes that you have. So that's just one feature. I'm not doing a comparison of the two different options here. So let me see. I was going through and saying MailChimp, Eventbrite. I guess I announced in one of these others some of the suggestions here. So the cost of this, essentially the ongoing costs for this are free with the asterisk by the word free. We would have I would recommend that we have a pay MailChimp account, but it's a pay as you go. So rather than paying a monthly fee for the MailChimp account and being able to do an unlimited number of emails to a limited number of people, we could have a pay as you go where we could have up to 50,000 names on our list. We would pay a half a cent per email and maybe a little less than a half a cent per email for emails. So that would be the charge, a half a cent per email if we buy enough stamps for our emails up ahead of time. With Eventbrite, it would be essentially free for us to use. With this statement, with the asterisk, is that when we had vendors pay, the vendors would absorb the cost of what the fee is to buy an event ticket. And if they bought a ticket for $1,000 for an event, it would be $7.75 if we register this as a 403b 403b nonprofit for the fixed charge, and it would be 3% for the I think it's 3% for the credit card charges. Um, yeah, 3% for the credit card charges. If we use their thing totally, it could go down and use PayPal and go down for places like New England where you sell over $10,000 a month for your things. Probably you'd be 2.5% for that. However, this can all be passed on to the vendors so that when they come up for $1,000, they say, "Oh, my bill is $1,000.38," and I think they'll absorb that cost without any problems. So essentially, it's free for us to use that feature. The website here is free. It's serviced by Google. We have a grandfathered account with Google which doesn't cost us anything to do this, and all the groups that we have for our officers. We can have groups that we're using for our council, as it's called now, and I have one set up for the Philly, and there's one set up for each of the different boards of the different chapters, so that there can be a private way that board members can communicate and have a shared presence. But the website that you see here is got everything, is free content that's explained to the user. It says all site information is open to the public and no password is required. However, if you want to post, you need a password. So, you know, that information is here. So I think I covered most of the things. There's more that I could say. This is a very fast and abbreviated version of the overview. Um, if we decide to go this way, I can certainly go in and put more details in terms of how to use it and fix up the different chapters So there are different information on the different chapters. I would suggest we try to standardize the layout. So feel free. I'd like to have input. As I get input from different people, it makes it clear what people are looking for and gives me ideas on how to do it. Now, I tell you, all this stuff was done since November 6th. As far as websites, I've never built a website before. And I knew nothing about how to build a website and figured this out myself on this. So none of it is hard to really to add to. I think it shows all the features that we need. It allows our members to join, gives them links to join the LinkedIn group on LinkedIn. Gives a way for presentations and our events to be here, information for vendors and whatnot. So I encourage you to go through, click through the links here. That will take you through pretty much most of the key information that's on the site. And thanks. All right. Take care.